Hello, this is Nice Wonder. I wanted to make a video about what has transpired in the last number of days. I was busy over the weekend on Saturday, so I wasn't able to attend the march in downtown LA. However, on the train to the National Association of Music Manufacturers Convention, where I was going, I did talk to some people, including a very articulate woman and very hopeful. The comprehension of what has transpired and what needs to be done going forward does seem to be happening with more people. And that's very encouraging. That's very optimistic, positive, whatever word to describe that. So that was my first experience before the march even happened. There's obviously been a lot of content on social media and video and discussion, and so it's very hopeful what I'm seeing going forward. I do want to make some comments that when I was actually at the NAMM convention, I did talk to some people from Belgium, England, and the Netherlands, also New York City, people from the heartland of America, and some people originally from the heartland of America that either live on the East Coast or the West Coast, and there was a great deal of optimism about embracing real progressive ideas as solutions going forward. So I was very pleased with that. It was very exciting to have those conversations while also enjoying the music and participating in the vibe of the convention. So now to the actual marches. And from what I understand, here in Los Angeles, there were 750,000 people in downtown Los Angeles, far more than what ever happened during the peak of the Occupy LA or the Occupy Wall Street movement here in the United States. There were a lot of people involved nationwide, but not on this level that we're seeing now, which is good. That's a very good thing. I think we're seeing millions more people wake up now. And and what's happening around the world, which I wanted to also point out, was that at least in the Netherlands and perhaps in France, and other countries as well, in Europe, there are Donald Trump sort of figures starting to come up within the political systems there. So there's a concern about this kind of mindset, whatever it is. So it's not just focused on Donald Trump. The people are just the outward manifestations of the problem. So getting into the personalities as a political issue, just like an anti-campaign during our election, is not the way to begin a conversation and go forward in making some decisions. So there is concern around the world that this kind of mindset might become popular, even more popular than it already is, with some individuals, not just Donald Trump or just here in the United States. On the other hand, we have seen the TPP be officially rejected. And that is something that even President Barack Obama was not able to do. And already in the first few days, we have seen a horrible trade agreement. We've talked about that on the Now Man show. We've had a guest that has read a significant amount of that text that's now, you can access it online, 6,000 some pages or whatever. And his initial critique of it was that it's insane, basically. Very little of it is about trade, and most of it is about corporate contracts and intellectual property, things of that nature, and a lot of complicated, sophisticated language. So our concerns there, were addressed. So that's pretty interesting. However, there's appointments. There are many other things to be very concerned about that have raised red flags. So it's great to see those people in the streets just drawing attention to the fact that that this is about us, not about the big corporations, or even really the corporate Democrats or the corporate Republicans of the establishment. This is literally about the people, literally about democracy. And I think it's important that we understand more and more about history. We understand how history fits into the context of current events. And when I say history, I'm talking about recent history, and also history that goes back decades, let's say, to the 20th century and the early part of the 20th century. Understand our history here in the United States. Understand how the world history fits into all of this. Look at economic history as well as social justice history. And I think that more recently we should be talking about what was Occupy Wall Street really telling us, what was Feel the Burn telling us, and what can we do going forward to not make the same mistakes so that the progressive ideas, the real left, which is what we had in the 1930s with the New Deal, can be pushing the agendas forward for actual real solutions for more people in a democratic fashion. Because that is what happened. There is discussion that we can have about the New Deal and whether or not that was enough or whether that was the right approach. Either way, how can we look at solutions as long-term, not short-term, which really the New Deal was kind of a short-term solution. It really didn't address the long-term issues that can come up later. So we really need to look at all of this. We're going to try to do that the best we can with the Now Man Show, but there's also another project in the works that there's really not enough information for me to share just yet, but what I can say, it's based on the idea of a worker cooperative and people coming together to create a business based on democratic and progressive principles. And we're going to focus on policies going forward, and one of the things that we want to do is educate ourselves and each other and you what we discover along the way, drawing from history and drawing from our experts and bringing all of our talents and skills together through social media and through the Now Man Show and other ways so that we can do our part in helping to connect the dots. And so I'll also encourage you to, if you want to be involved in some kind of organization, there's an interesting one called Justice Democrats. If you're still wanting to be a part of the Democratic Party, there are still some progressives there. JusticeDemocrats.com. There's also a video, I'll put a link with Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks talking about that. And I'll put a link of Justice Democrats as well that you can connect to right in this very video thread on YouTube. So it's very exciting times, and we'll be talking more about this soon. I love you.